Hey guys, how's it going? So, you can hopefully hear me, guys. Give me a 5 by 5 if you guys can hear me. Cody, can you hear me? All right, I'm just going to assume everybody can hear me. Okay, guys, today I'm the Lone Ranger, which is probably why I look lost out here, which is good fun. We're going to get lost together today. I have what I would consider a smorgasbord. Is that how you pronounce that? Something like that. We're one of those, boards with a lot of things on it. You know what I'm talking about? We have had a whirlwind of a week, and I'm just going to go over it real quick, what my week was like. The entire week last week, I was on the boat, the yacht. I know I sent a couple of videos to you guys. Hopefully, you guys could see me in what I do. I wanted to do another one. In fact, I recorded the whole thing and I was in the middle of playing around and editing the whole thing. And then it just sort of went south on me and I got so busy. So what I do and the way I do it is unique. It's too much fun. It's one of those lives that you have that people can't really relate until you show them what you do. And then once you show them what you're into and what you do for a living, people are like, oh, wow, I see. Okay. Well, it's not all that easy and not all that much fun. It's a whole ton of work. Right. So anyway, I'm so glad you guys could join me here on the Independence weekend. If you are in the US, I'm sure you're either standing with a cold beverage in your hand around a barbecue or something alike and enjoying the fruits of your labors of the year and enjoying life. I see some people in here. Catherine, I see Cody, obviously, Joanna. Thank you, love, for being in here, taking time out of your Independence Day weekend, guys. I'm really looking for questions. If you guys have questions, today is the day to ask me because Batman is alone. And so Robin is working. So he's in a place where he can't get to us today. We look forward to having him next week. And the B-Man will be sorely missed. I reached out to a couple of people that were a little bit different than I normally have on here. And I didn't get any response back. One guy said, no, he just couldn't do it. That would have been a lot of fun as he brings a totally different perspective, guys. That would have been a lot of fun. Jacob's Ladder, good to have you, brother. Good to have you, man. And Barry, see you in here. Seeing you. Let's talk about, I want to talk first of all, I wrote down I know it's a first, right? I know, don't judge. It's the first for me. I made a plan. I know, right? Those of you who ever watch Vice Grip Garage, you'll know exactly where that comes from. I actually did. I made a plan. I made show notes. I made all this kind of things because I wasn't sure who was going to be in here to, ask those brilliant questions. But I got the code man. I got now Dr. Johnny in the house. Thanks, brother, for swinging by. I want to really get into this quick. I've already seen this all week long. People have asked me all week long, what's going on? Why are we dipping? Is it just because of Mt. Gox? Sure. I also think that it's bigger than that because what happened was we raced all the way up before the halving. I'm talking Bitcoin now. Before the halving, we raced up to an all-time high, new high. That is new. That is rare. However, I want everybody to remember that if you equate for inflation, that was not a new all-time high. That was simply what I would say right around the all-time high. Okay. So with the amount of inflation we've had lately, we technically didn't have a new all-time high, but that's being very technical, hypercritical. What I liked about what I saw was it came down in steps. It raced right back up to 70, and then it come back down in steps, and it come down in steps. And it was so much more low end purchasing happening going on than any other time in post halving I've ever seen. Post halving always has 20 to whatever it is, 40% drawdown, crash. People call it all sorts of hyperbolic terms. I don't know. Whatever. For me, it's normal movement. This is not a crash. This is not anything. If it dropped 20 more percent, it's still not a crash. Okay. You're going to sit down in those levels that we all love to purchase at. Before we got on, I had a great chat with Sammy, and Sammy is one of those people that I'm going to just go ahead and tell his story real quick. In 2018, he started buying XRP, and that year he had seen it go, whatever it was. I believe it went up to $3.30 or whatever, but he had purchased early enough to where he had made enough money to where he was able to put some money together and put actually over 20% down on his house. Well, that's great. That's really cool. A lot of us really need that in time, but he had, I'm not going to tell exactly how many coins he had, but I'm going to say it's over 20,000. Well, he had to liquidate those for the down payment on his house, which is a good thing because he got a great deal on his house and he bought the house in 18. So right now he's probably, I think he and I decided at least 50% up on his property. That's an awesome place to be. That's a good reason to spend your XRP. However, he looked at his account and he goes, yeah, I got 200 XRP now, right? It's like, uh-oh, what if this thing goes racing? Well, where we're at right now is what I want everybody to understand how big this is. When this thing drops down to 40 cents to people like Sammy, I'm sure he wouldn't mind me using his name. Sammy Solar is what I call him because he's out in Florida and he helps me with all my solar issues. Amazing guy, kind heart. I can't wait to see him in Vegas next year. That money that he made from that, let's say he sold 30,000 of them, right? He sold 30,000 of these things. How are you going when the price is at 50 cents or even 75 cents? How is he going to get back to 35,000 XRP coins? Not a rich man. How's he going to come up with 15 grand? You're not. You're going to hopefully dollar cost average in, right? You're going to, okay, I can get 50 bucks here or 100 bucks there, or maybe $100 a paycheck or whatever. He's just a small potato guy like the rest of us, right? He's not a rich man where he can just jump back in and buy 35,000 coins all over again. He can't do that. So this is a really, really important lesson for all of us in the sense of this. When you and I liquidate any of our coins in this next bull run that we're going to run into, when you liquidate, you have to remember what's going to happen to your account. Oh, sure. Oh, wow, man, I made 100 grand. I made 200 grand. I made 300 grand. Whatever it is, the number is that you earned off those coins. Let's remember, you're not going to be able in the future to replicate that amount of coins in your account ever again. It's not likely, guys, unless with the coins in which you've sold, you've created a job or a position or an income for yourself going forward. This is really key to the future of crypto for you and your family. Because now he's sitting there going, well, now I've worked my way up for the last 3 years, really crushing it and trying to get everything I can. And I don't have 25% of the coins that I had before, which means that now it has to go up 3 times the amount for him to retire, be done, be finished, have his dream place or his dream property or whatever it may be, right? You understand the value that accumulating through multiple bull markets means when you get to where he's at. He's been there since 18 and he's like, wow, it's hard to get back, man. It's so hard to get back to what you were doing before, where your account was before. So I want everybody to understand, when we start liquidating, when you start selling, okay, I'm ready to sell 25% or maybe 50%. I'm urging you, and particularly with XRP, because I think it's going to be a slow grower. I really do. I think it's going to pop to, $5, $6, $10, $15, $20. And then what I want to see you guys do is hang on to that last 20%. Maybe even as high as 25, 30% of your portfolio, because to build back from zero, when the new bottom now is $15, it costs you 15 grand to buy 1,000 coins, right? You understand that? Okay. I hope I explained that well. I hope that's a real world example for all of us, so that we know that it's about building and accumulating your Satoshis. If you're into Bitcoin, your Bitcoin, it's almost impossible for the average person to buy a whole Bitcoin today. But when your Bitcoin, let's say you had a whole Bitcoin, and when your Bitcoin goes to $300,000 and you sell that Bitcoin, you will never get back into Bitcoin. You just never will. You'll never be able, because your $300,000 is not a big enough nest egg to ever get back into that market, because pullbacks are going to be less significant. One man's opinion, right? Your pullbacks right now, look at them, 24%, and everybody's panicking. You're going to be lucky. I don't think you're ever going to see 80% and 90% pullbacks in these markets again. In particular with the coins that BlackRock are involved with, the coins that are, our favorite coins, right? These are all going to have ETFs associated with them and attached to them. And they're going to be very difficult, because they are going to be bought up by pools, by retirement funds, by like VC, venture capital groups are going to be buying these projects. And then they're going to lump them into a group. It might be XRP, XLM, and XDC are all going to be in a little group, and you're going to be able to buy all three. That's going to keep it. What's going to happen when all these colleges, universities, and the rest of them start adding all the returns back that they've had just on Bitcoin, and they sit there and they go, well, wait a minute now. We've got $3 billion and we could put that into XRP at 50 cents right now. Why don't we maybe do that? Because somebody's telling me it's going to $15. When you look at that kind of return on your money, and when you look at the not legislation, but the legal clarity that Ripple has, and a few of the others, and now ETFs coming along, you are looking at as close as we've ever been in the history of crypto of being a slam dunk. Guarantee. I'm not calling it a guarantee. Can't call it that. All right. What do we have here in the chat? Right on, my brother. We have Crypto Truth. Sean's all over this thing. You guys should always listen to these two gentlemen. I know them personally. I met both of these people, and Simon in the chat, some others in here that I have met personally at the XRP show. Come hang out with us next year. I think you guys have a blast, and it's a lot of fun. This year, I have a little surprise thing. I've just booked it. I'm actually, those of you on the West Coast, or let's say West, or you can afford to go, or you're interested in going, I'm going to the Pacific Bitcoin show. That is, I believe, show notes should have wrote that down. October 17, 18, 19, somewhere right in there. It's I believe it's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay. That's a show that I will be at, and I'm really excited about going to it. And I was invited by an individual who has a big channel, and he said, but brother, you've got to be there. We need you there. Get in the backstage, and you're going to meet everybody who's anybody. And I'm really excited about it. I know it's a bit of a Bitcoin maxi show. I'm okay with that. I can hang with anybody. I could actually go hang with a meme show. I love the space. It's the people, man. You know what I mean? It's us. It's family. I don't care what coin you got. Like Simon likes to say all the time, I don't care what banner you're waving. We're all on the same team. We're all in this together. Yeah. Let's what do we have on a question here? I know I missed a bunch of them, man. You guys are flying by. So let's just reflect on the show here just a bit. Old guy, technology, chat screaming by, and I got to read and talk and think at the same time. Yeah, this probably is not going to go well. Let's just chalk this show up. Just done. Dust. Yes, Pacific Bitcoin 2024, October 17, 18, 19. I'm guessing it's that Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Check it out. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be hanging out all 3 days. Elizabeth and I have a wonderful little camper. You guys have seen me do some videos in that. She and I are going to beach camp it right up the street from where the show is. Show's in Santa Monica, LA. I'm going to be right up the beach in Malibu campsites. And she and I are just going to chill. She's going to do yoga and some other really neat stuff, and probably find a card game or 3 if I know Elizabeth. And it's going to be a good show. I've heard nothing but amazing things, and you guys all know Rob out there, he's one of the guys that told me, you gotta go, Al, gotta go. I got Hoofty in the house, got Peaky in the house, Wayne's in the house. Wayne is Crypto Truth. He posts a lot on X. You guys have got to check his material out. It's about sound money. It's about patriotism. It's about nationalism. It's about being responsible for one's self and their life and what they believe is right for what they would like to see the future of this country or any other country, sovereign country, to be. So, yeah, it's good stuff. Let's see. Wayne, it's right next to the pier, if that's the question. Okay. What else have we got in here? I had a question earlier. I can't find it now. I'm not even going to dig around. About the XRP, no, not the XRP show, the XDC and what was launched last week about that. Really cool stuff coming out, guys. The feds look like they're getting their act together. I know it's hard to believe. I'm not really a big fan of our Federal Reserve, as everyone on this channel knows. I think one of the things that I'm really most excited about is the fact that they are going to some level of decentralized accountability to some degree. I know they're going to keep it as centralized, and they're going to try and slip it under the rug, and they're going to try and trick everybody going into CBDCs. I don't see CBDCs happening in this country. I did a video about that 2 years ago. You can look it up. It was quite a lengthy video, and I think I made a lot of really good points in that video. And by the way, almost all of them have come true. That's a first. I'm usually not that lucky. On that one, I have to admit, I got damn lucky on a lot of that. But there's so many things happening with accountability. I really believe that AI is going to bring in accountability. And I know a lot of people argue with me about that, but accountability means to everybody. That means government. That means people that are like, how are you going to say, okay, I'm charging you 8% interest on this thing. Well, when AI can just dig around and go, well, don't go with those guys, go with these guys. They're only charging you 3.5. Go with these guys. That's the kind of accountability that I'm talking about. And those of us who know how the AMMs work, that's going to be a whole thing that Simon and I are going to go over Tuesday night. I'm doing a live stream just like this. You'll be notified about it. I think we're going to try and do it around 5 or 6 o'clock Pacific Coast time. You will hear lots about, this is what I'm going to talk about on that show with Simon. We're going to talk about what infinite banking means to you, how you can buy crypto with it, how you can run an AMM, how you can do a DEX, how you would negotiate using crypto for collateral to fund such things. And it's kind of technical, but it's good, fun stuff. And it's creative ways that you can make money from your own money, which is huge. As you guys know, that's what the wealthy do. That's what I pick their brain about. I talk about wealth all the time with people, which leads me into my Independence Day weekend. I have to tell you a story about a man, which I know very well. I've known him for a long time. I'm just going to go out on a limb and just say he's my boss. A young man, very smart when it comes to the world of real estate. He's mostly into real estate. He builds buildings, retains the buildings, and rents them out. You can imagine the profits involved in that. He's done very well in life. His father did really well in life. His father since passed, was my original boss, and now he is my new boss. He came up to me and he had a couple of cocktails on the 4th and says, "Wow, Al, are you still into that crypto stuff?" And, that thing that everybody says, sort of smirking out of the side of their mouth because they don't even know what they're talking about usually. But the big thing that hit me was, I was like, oh, okay, he's a big time real estate guy. And I hit Simon with a couple of these ideas that I had. And then I said to him, yes, that on the 4th, I was like, yeah, okay. Well, I know how to approach this guy. Well, one of the things I had said was, I said, yeah, I'm still into crypto. He says, well, just Bitcoin or all of them? I said, all of them kind of really, but I like them all. But let me talk about real estate for a minute. And he goes, oh, okay. What? He goes, the best investment in the world's real estate. And I said, well, yeah, okay. I'm kind of with that. I kind of get that. That has been the case in the past. I don't believe it's the case any longer. I think you're much better off with a number of crypto coins. But I'll just go with Bitcoin at this point. He said, oh, what are you talking about? I said, well, if you just look at returns in the last year and you look at the way the returns are coming in, what do you think real estate's going to do? Do you think it's going to go up an average 100%, 150% annually? It can't. Technically, it cannot, guys. That's just absurd. That nobody would be able to afford a home within 2 or 3 years. That's just not going to happen. I said, so let's think about this now. Let's say you're a big time business guy like you are, speaking to my boss, and you have a business opportunity, which he does all the time. People in other countries are asking him all the time, hey, why don't you build a resort on this beach? Why don't you do this? How about this over here? Why don't you think this? You built a high rise once. Why don't you build a high rise in my country or my city or my town? Okay. These opportunities come up to multi-hundred billion millionaires. These people get opportunities like that thrown in their lap, right? So I said to him, I said, boss, how long would it take you to do the banking finance on, let's say, a $10 million deal? Oh, well, we could get that done pretty quick, Alan. Why do you ask? And I'm like, well, I'm going somewhere with this. I said, so you could get the funding to somebody in what, 10 days? Oh, yeah, definitely within 2 weeks. I said, huh. Well, what if it was a Saturday and the person needed the deal now? Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I could wire him cash, but even wiring isn't going to, and he pretty much stopped in the middle of a sentence. And I went, see where I'm going with this? You see where I'm going with this, right? The people that need the money now sell at a loss or sell at a premium price, okay, to who has the immediate cash. Are you guys with me on this? So you and I, not saying either one of us have $10 million worth of Bitcoin. Not the point. You probably will one day have $10 million worth of crypto. Hopefully, right? That'd be fun. My point is, within 10 minutes, you could send $10 million to solidify that deal 10 days before my boss could get the money to him. That's what crypto is about to do. And that's what crypto is about to destroy, the money fluid market. And a lot of people out there don't really understand what venture capital does. Most of the venture capital in the world is sat around, it's studied, it's looked upon. It's, okay, we want to get into this business and that angle, and here's what we're going to do when we get the $100 million. Okay, it's been funded. What are we going to fund? They've done 6 months of research. That's what we call tight money. That's tough money. That's margins. You're earning margins on all of that. But when somebody needs the money, I need the money Monday. Whoever gets me the money Monday, you get the deal. That's where you and I come in. Bigger than that, that's where crypto comes in, guys. Stop and think about what I'm talking about here. It's going to outdeal all the good deals. It's going to beat everybody to the transaction table. They're going to have to do what? Compete. They're going to have to compete in time frames that they're not used to doing. And when I explained all that to my boss, I could see the light bulb go off in his head. Like, oh, I need some quick liquid cash. How do I pull that off? And then he said, look, not everybody has privy to those deals. I get those kind of deals because I hear about them. You're right. You do. That wasn't my only point. My next and favorite point is, how much will real estate go up in the future when you can take out, I don't know, a 15-year loan, a 30-year loan to buy Bitcoin or any of the top coins? When I can do a 30-year loan with a banking institution because the paper is written on what? The value of the coin, the asset. It's now becoming, already is in Switzerland, already is with the BIS. It's being considered a true collateral. It is true banking collateral around the world now. When you have clean, grade 1 collateral, you can borrow against it for periods of time at low interest rates. So what's going to happen? Let's think about this now, guys. Bitcoin's at 50, whatever it is, $60,000. I think it's maybe even gone up since then. I didn't look today. What's going to happen when you can take a 30-year loan out on Bitcoin? Just roll that around in your head for a while. How much paper and how many billions and how many trillions of dollars are going to go into the crypto market when you can borrow money to buy crypto and everybody else can do the same thing? That's the only reason why real estate goes up, because they're leveraged 90, sometimes 100%. People only have 10 grand in a $100,000 home. The bank gave them the other 90. Well, they printed the other 90. Let's be clear about that. B. Hodlin, thanks, man, from Switzerland. I just mentioned your fine country. Do you understand the point I was going with there? I know I just beat it like it's a horse, but it's really, really important. All of those banking skills, abilities, transactions have been withheld from all of us intentionally. Intentionally, guys. Don't let them lie to you. That's what the media tells you. Don't do that. Don't buy that. Don't buy the single greatest asset or investment in the history of investing. in particular in the last 10 years. Don't buy that. Why are they telling you that? Because the banks are about to get aced out and they know it. I know we've gone over that a million times. So what do we got in here for some questions? Slave. Yeah. The other one that I wanted to talk about, I'm going to talk about Tuesday night, but just opening a Fidelity account with your crypto in it is going to be huge. Yeah. Yep. Just wait. I've talked about that. I did a whole couple of shows about this, but let me just briefly go over this real quick. Let's say you have $100,000 worth of coins at Fidelity. Okay. They take that as collateral. You can borrow for 5 years interest free. Why? Because it's your money. You can borrow up to 25% of it interest free for 5 years. You just have to pay it back within 5 years. At the end of 5 years, you start paying a penalty. If you don't pay it back within, I believe it's 5 years after that, you forfeit the 25% of the coin in which you had in there. You're talking about an interest-free loan of your own money. Now, I have better deals than that, and that's coming up with the infinite banking. We're going to talk about all that stuff Tuesday night. But stop and think about what that means to people. Like as soon as companies who have millions of dollars of Bitcoin or crypto in their accounts and they're borrowing against it to buy what? Probably more crypto. When it's going up at the rate and when everybody starts jumping on the bandwagon and everybody's making money because everybody's getting into the pool, then it does become what? Such a scarce asset that it can't be a Ponzi scheme. Remember, Ponzi scheme is when there's an infinite amount of coins in which they can keep dumping into the market. With Bitcoin in particular, but all of the coins have a scarcity level to them. They can't keep making more of them. So it can't be a Ponzi scheme. And they understand that. It's a true collateral. They can't even go mine more of them than they already are mining today. And that diminishes, as we know, over 4 years. So what are they going to do? How are they going to Ponzi scheme that? You can't. You can't. Anybody that tells you crypto's a Ponzi scheme doesn't understand the definition of a Ponzi scheme. Right? All right. What do we got in here, guys? I feel like I'm doing all the talking here today. What am I talking about? What's that old man babbling about over there? The recent March. Oh, doggone it. Let's see. As you recall, this space was much stronger than the example of the 3 weeks of recent March. Would you have recommended taking any profits? Do you or hold anything, or do you? No, I do not. And that kind of was what I led off the show with. Maybe we're here in the very beginning of it. One of the things, the problems, okay, taking profits are fantastic when we think that there's a saturation of what I'm going to call Joe Sixpack in the market. It's my best barometer. I don't know. I know the best time to buy crypto is probably right now or a year ago because nobody's talking about it. It's crashing, Alan, don't you know? You buy, I don't really care much for Warren Buffett, but I respect his abilities, some of his abilities. But when there's blood in the streets, you should buy then. That's when you buy. If you want to be a trader, you buy when everybody's telling you it's a bad investment. You sell when you're going to get your package from the UPS driver and he's going, "Hey man, I just bought 15 more of those things, you know. Hey man, thanks for the tip. You know, by the way, I heard from this guy who knows a guy who told me that you should buy this XRP coin, man. It's hot stuff. It's great. It's a can't miss, Al. You should buy it." I walk inside the door and I sell 25% right then and there, guys. That's just a general rule. And we'll know in particular about XRP because we'll know what they're doing. We'll know the affiliations that they have, that we'll know their future plans, we'll know their what's going on, because you and I are really connected to the XRP group. I'm pretty connected to the XRP or Bitcoin family as well. I also follow Charles Hoskinson a lot because I really appreciate the man's mind. If you don't appreciate that man's mind, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. The man is maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but I don't really care what you think of somebody else. That's your opinion. That has to be your opinion. And you're the one that has to live with that opinion. I'm the guy who says, wow, I really like that about that person. I really like that about that person. I like that about that person. And I'm trying to do my humanly best to stop looking at the things that I don't like about those people, because I find that I don't gain anything from that. It doesn't get me anywhere. And it's a very difficult thing to do for me, as it is for all of us. But I will say, the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And the better you get at it, the more you crush it with information, because you get the good stuff. Think about this, guys. You can get the good stuff from somebody or the bad stuff from somebody. What are you focusing on? You want the good stuff, right? You want the good stuff. You want the stuff that they're talking about that's going to help your life and change your momentum of maybe the mess that you're currently in, or the way that you can find your way out of such a place. That is what you want, guys. You're looking for the positives. You're looking for the opportunities. You're looking at the best way to move forward in this world together. There's no better place in the whole world to be in than crypto. You found your way to the number one, in my humble opinion, asset on the face of this planet for the next 10 years. Maybe AI competes. Maybe AI. NASDAQ, no way. Gold, no way. It's not going to keep up. You found your way to the sweet spot in life. And now you're going to take all the bad things that people say in some chat group or some YouTube channel. Dude, you went through all the crap that you could have hung your hat on, and you walked into the crypto space and you became enlightened with technology and the understanding of what it's going to do and how it's going to help mankind. And then you want to listen to the bad stuff? Come on, guys. Like, we can do better than that. You're too damn smart. You're too damn smart. I know who you people are. I met most of you. Yeah. Me personally, Wayne, I have not sold anything. And that's all the financial advice I will give. And it's not financial advice. It's my personal, what happened with me. Okay. Yes, Joanna is a huge fan of Exodus Wallet. So am I. It's the most secure wallet, online wallet there is. Also, there is, I've fallen in love with Cash App, and I pretty much got into that because of Joanna as well. That's a pretty slick deal. I'm a man of shooting it straight out. Close it up. XRP holder. Yep. Sean is an XRP holder. I will vouch for that. He's, let's see. Let's see. Slave, thank you, brother. Hopefully I'm not the only one you're watching. Unless I got that wrong. Okay, this is a good question, Oak. I love this because I took a couple of notes on this, actually. The question is, do you think they lower rates in September? Yes. If I could project the unemployment rate between now and September, and the way things are going with the last, I know it's mostly fraudulent, but the way it looked and the way people talked about it, I would say yes. Now, I talk about this a lot, but it bears repeat. We are in a recession, kids. We have been, I don't care what they call it. The economy has recessed to some degree for many quarters. It only takes 2 out of 3 quarters to have a recession. We've been in that. So if you disagree with that, that's okay. So all the indicators are down, right? Everything's down. At the bottom of it is the recession. That's where we're at. We're almost at depression levels, depending on the mathematical category in which you're studying at the time. And by the way, I don't believe in all statistics, because all statistics can be made to lie. Okay. You can paint them to look any way you want. Now, there's a lot of people out there, and I know that, oh gosh, George Gammon, good man. I haven't had the chance to meet him. I know he talks about it a lot. There's a Eurodollar University. There's a bunch of people out there that have been talking about not really crash, but when they lower interest rates, it's going to go way lower. Now, I understand that. I understand the logic behind it. But what you have to understand is it's on a decline. So when you see something in steep decline and you do something to change it, it's not a light switch. It doesn't just snap back the other way. So what everybody will tell you is, oh, well, as soon as they dropped the interest rates last time, it went lower. That's a fact. It was on its way lower. It doesn't just stop and go the other way, right? In fact, I'm the guy that doesn't even believe that interest rates are all that important. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack about that. They're really not. But anyway, they're mostly hype, and they're mostly, what's the mentality of the public, and what are they all thinking out there? Okay. So when it continues to go down, which it will continue to go down, it's at the bottom, and it's not going to go off the page lower. The bottom is getting close to the bottom, is what that means. And what I mean by that is the amount of liquidity about to come into the market when they decrease interest rates. And yeah, I'd say September is probably the time, right? I think that's the next, the possibility. They will print. And I don't mean print like the QE way they used to do it. Today, they're going to, it's already happened in Japan. It already happened in Germany did it. And sorry, Euro did it. And 2 other markets, trying to remember. And I know Sweden's trying to do the same exact thing. When that happens and people start reducing, the dollar will be one of the last ones to do so. China did as well. Okay. What that means is they're telling the US, look, we're having a hard time making it here. The dollar's too strong. You need to weaken the dollar so that we can weaken our dollars, our currencies. They have to weaken together. Otherwise, you have this big problem in the middle, and that creates interest to the nations. And they don't want to pay that, obviously. Nobody wants to pay all that interest on their money. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to lower interest rates. As soon as they lower those interest rates, and I hope it's September, because that just tells me that 2025 is absolutely going to melt faces with crypto. Because it will get worse before it gets better. Like I said, the dip has to complete. But what I mean is somewhere around the election time, conveniently, if they were to drop them in September, you're looking at a bull market beginning this fall anyway. I don't care what they say. I think crypto is going to start going up in August. Remind me to tell a story about that. I mentioned it the other day in a video I shot, but when that happens, when the liquidity is already coming back, and you can listen to Mike from, gosh, he's got a brilliant channel too. No, he doesn't have a channel. He's just a guest on some shows. Anyways, Mr. Liquidity, he's an old Goldman Sachs guy, I believe. And he was incredible in a few interviews in the last year. He nailed it. He's nailed this thing the whole way. Liquidity's coming to the market because we are in a bottom of a business cycle. We know that because everybody's been getting laid off. Things have gotten expensive. The The money is not flowing. People are not getting loans willy-nilly, right? All you got to do is look around and try and borrow some money, and you can't get a dime from these banks. You can't get a car loan, right? Unless you have perfect credit. That tells you the liquidity isn't in the market, but it's turning around. And as soon as that starts to turn around and the liquidity starts coming back into the market and they drop the interest rates, you're looking at assets such as gold, real estate, valuables in particular, okay, in this order, NASDAQ, gold, crypto being the number one asset, period. You're in the right place, guys. The only thing that could stop that, again, is a black swan. I'm not even going to go there. I don't care much for it. I don't even like talking about that stuff. Okay. You were supposed to remind me of a story. Anyway, it'll come to me. It's an incredible time to buy. Yeah, I believe that to be true. Can it go lower? Sure. I think XRP could drop down to 30 cents. I don't think it will, but if it does, pile in, kids. I mean, that's just my advice. For me, I give myself advice, and I just happen to be on this video stream right now. Yeah, exactly, Hoofty. When they start putting altcoin tattoos on their foreheads, exactly, that's the time you sell. That's the indicator I'm looking for right there. That's it. Let's see. Yep. Okay, I want to. Okay, Hoofty brought up a great point. I really want people to understand what. I don't want to split hairs. I don't want to confuse everybody. But DCA, what you and I do is not technically DCA, but anyway. True DCA, dollar cost average, is when you have a big bank account and you don't want to put all 10 grand of it in right now. You want to take the 10 grand slowly into the market. That's a true DCA. Okay. What you and I, most of us are doing is, well, I got an extra $100 at payday. That's technically when I know I'm splitting hairs, but that's not DCA. Okay. That's technically not what that is. That's just buying randomly when you can. But anyway, again, I am splitting hairs there. Okay. Wholeheartedly with that saying, I obsess over time and there's truly a currency. There's a generation before me. Yep. Sean, I want to talk to everybody about generations. I bring it up all the time. It bears repeat. I am, yes, a baby boomer. Yes, we have most of the money. That means that Generation X is about to have the money next. And then the generation after that is the millennials are about to have all the money. It's just too early in your time frame for you to have inherited all the money trickling down to you that's coming to you all. So don't blame the boomers. Just understand that most of them, obtained it through your most profitable, productive years, believe it or not, for earning money is like 25 to 50. But the time that all of your money matures is 45 to 65. That's when your money matures. And any of you that are 35 years old, and if you own that XRP when you're 65, you're going to be stinking rich, period, because you invested 30 years ago in it, right? Imagine what XRP is going to be worth 30 years from now. You understand that, right? Sorry, I got it. Somebody's texting me. No texting while I'm doing a live stream. I'm just making sure it's not my wife and, there's a problem somewhere. Because Elizabeth comes first. Let's see. Yes, Corey. like-minded brothers and sisters right here. You got that right. Let's see. Got that one up.
If you put 15 grand into a 5%,
let's not do that.
Robinhood Gold account.
Let's not do that. Almost had two shows going here at once, guys. All right. Jared, optimism isn't paying the bills. No, that's true. You're absolutely correct. You've got to get out there and you've got to make it happen. There's no question about that. But if you're not optimistic about something, that means you're pretty down about everything. I'm just going to say, you can be down about a couple things. That's cool. You can go on with your day. But if you're not optimistic about anything, that means you're a pretty down guy or person or lady or whatever. And that's, trust me, you look back after 5 years of being down about everything, and it feels like 10 years of misery. I'm just, trust me, guys, you don't want to go down that road as best possible. Just saying. James Anthony, what do you got for me, brother? XRP, XDC, HBAR, XLM, Flare, of course, and some of the layer twos. Yes, all of those coins I like. I like all of them on this channel, by the way. I'm only going to say that I only own 3 of the 5 you mentioned there. I might as well say, the first 3 I own. How about that? I used to own Stellar Lumens back in the day. I no longer own that coin. Does not mean that I don't appreciate what they're doing, and I don't think it couldn't crush this entire market and couldn't. Should I own some of that? I should. I just liquidated it to buy more, I believe, XRP at one time. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much about my account because my attorney will watch this and she will not care for that. So we're not going to do too much more. Let's see. Yep. I know I'm behind on a lot of these. Sorry, guys. Mommy Wolverine, thanks for having you in the house, girl. Cash App rocks. Hello, everyone. Yep. Crypto AI back in the house. Nice. Slave, you're the only one on the end. Yep. Yep. What? No, I don't follow that coin. I'm sorry, Cody, I don't follow that. I'm way behind here, guys. And Cody and Brent and Simon did a show the other day. You guys, you've got to go check that out. It's got everything in it. I was going to say that. You can find it on Simon's Simon Says Crypto channel. Oh, I highly recommend that show. It's a bit long maybe for some of you, but if you can't hang with long shows, do it in pieces. It was worth it. Totally loved it. Let's see. Peaky, what do you got there? I sacrificed pretty much everything for 4 years to get to this point. Exactly, Peaky. You're not alone. As I was saying earlier in the video, I have virtually not sold a single coin since, I want to say, the very first purchase I made was in, I want to say like March of 2017. So I've been holding. I've been hodling, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Canada did lower rates, and they're about to do it again, from what I understand. I don't know if that's accurate info that I got, but I heard that. Hoopty, sit on your hands, brother. That's what we need to do. Sit on your hands and do not play with your keyboard. Do not start selling stuff and buying Pepe. All right. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about right there. All right, I took some notes here. I've been hearing a lot. Man, now I'm going to really step right in it here, kids. Let's just step right into it. There are so many channels out there that are telling you that the dollar is going away. I get it. I understand that it is being used less. However, you have to understand what it means when they sell, when they print money in their, let's just use China. When China prints money in yuan, it devalues itself against the dollar. That's what I was talking about before. China wants the US to devaluate at the same time so that it stays level as they go down and things get more expensive for you and I because they're printing a bunch of money, unfortunately. But you and I know how to get ahead of that. We know how to stay ahead of inflation. And the way you do that is owning true, good, solid assets. That's how you pull that off. That's why you're in crypto. That's why you're in precious metals. That's why hopefully you've been able to purchase a good piece of land that works for you. Okay. Now, when they print money, which China just lowered their rates, and China's been printing money for a very long time, other channels are out there telling you, oh, look, here's what happened. The Saudis now are taking the yuan from China. That's correct. They are now taking the yuan for oil. That is absolutely correct. What are the Saudis doing with the yuan? Does anybody know? Are they buying US treasuries? No, they're not. What are they doing with it? They're buying things. They're not holding on. There's absolutely no evidence anywhere in the world, in any account, that the Saudis are storing yuan dollars, currency. There's no evidence of that. They're not stockpiling yuan. Why? Because it's in free fall. It's worse off than the damn dollar. Now, what kind of monkey do you have to be to sell your oil for a worse currency falling at a faster rate? Hello? Is anybody listening to this? There's I know this sounds crazy to most Americans. There's a shortage worldwide of dollars. You think they've printed trillions of these? They have. There's a shortage. There's more people want them than there are them. Economics 101 tells me that that's not going to go away anytime soon. That tells me the other 190 currencies are in big trouble long before the US dollar diminishes and rides off into the sunset and becomes vapor. Be careful when you're listening to some of these channels because a lot of these people are trying to tell you it's going to happen next week. I'm sorry, that's physically impossible. Okay? Physically impossible. And I know it's hype and I know it gets clicks and I know there's, I see these YouTube thumbnail titles and I just look at them. I'm like, that's somebody who wants to hear the sky's falling. I was clicking on that. And unfortunately, in crypto, there's so many people that are down on the world right now. It's just like, wow, whoa. Okay, I get it. Times are tough. The economy's down. I got that. But every time it goes down, what does it do after that? Oh, that's right. There's a 5-year business cycle. And you know why there's a 5-year business cycle? Because nobody can afford to buy a new car right now, right? Nobody can buy a new home right now. Nobody can buy a new washer, a dryer, a bed, or whatever it is, a bike for your kid, or whatever it might be. So what does that mean? Well, that means that things don't last 5 years anymore. So what does everybody need to do? They've got to replace all those things. How does that happen? That's right. Liquidity comes back into the market and everybody starts purchasing things on paper. They get in debt. You and I know better to the degree that we can. We have to buy certain things we have to buy. But you and I understand we need to hold an asset in the time of boom, which is the business cycle coming up. And all those toys and the deck and the toys that they built or bought in 2020 are now 4.5 years old and must be replaced in many cases. This is over the next year or two going to create an economic boom out of need. Why is China hurting so bad right now? Because everybody bought everything that could possibly be made in China 4 years ago. They didn't need to replace it when China opened back up after the big event. So what do they need to do now? They need to stay relevant. So what are they going to do? They're going to do their best to spend the cash that they can print, China now, for oil. They're spending their cash, and they've gotten the Saudis to accept their cash that they get to print out of thin air. They don't have to go buy US dollars that are more expensive to give them to the Saudis because the Saudis gave them a deal. That's all that was. The Saudis gave them a deal. And trust me, I understand the BRICS. I've been following it longer than anybody I know on YouTube. Longer than anybody I know. I'm on top of it. I get it. I understand it. Are they trying to get away from it all? They are. Will they eventually pull it off? Yeah. But I think eventually what's going to happen is we're going to end up with a world where everybody has to come together, and then they'll level the playing field of the top 20 nations, and they'll give the US dollar a haircut. That, my friends, is how it will go down. That's how it always goes down, because the people at the top don't play nations. They're not nations people. They play a big game. It's a big money game. That's the only reason why crypto hasn't crushed this financial world, is because those guys play the money game. So just beware. I didn't mean to rant on about that, but love West Texas. Russell Raven, good to have you, brother. Peaky, what are you on about? Oh, you're talking to Sean. Because of my husband has to do something to co-sign the mortgage loan. Yeah, right, Joanna? Yep. If you need my co-signature, you're in big trouble. Buying used sex, I'll never buy a new car. Yeah, good call, Money Paradise. The best thing about some of those older cars, they just run and they run and they run and they run. The downside is they don't get as good a gas mileage as some of the newer ones. But yeah, but they're still expensive. Let's see. What do we got in here? Sorry, I'm not keeping up with this chat, guys. There's just no way I can go on a rant and do both. Actually, Hoofty, no, that's not accurate. That's not accurate, brother. Well, it is accurate to the common man. The DCA is when you buy on a schedule consistently. That's what the common man thinks DCA is. That is not what the term DCA is about. The term DCA is, should I put 50K in right now, or should I slowly take my 50K out of the bank and slowly over the next year put the 50K in? That's a true DCA. What you and I, yeah. That's, so he's right about that, is on a consistent schedule. Correct. Sorry, I didn't mean to give you a hard time there, Hoopty. Where would I be without you in this chat, brother? Yeah, where's B-Man, right? Jeez. Like, who wants to listen to this old guy ramble on all damn day? The B-Man will be back. We're hoping next week. It's very tough times for the B-Man. He's working his tail off. I am too. Last week I worked all week on the boat, and it's been, 2 ships, right? We haven't really, I don't even talk much anymore. It's like been crazy. we have different schedules and just the whole thing, unfortunately. But we're getting it back together. We're getting the band back together, man. We're going to make it happen. Yeah. XRP is buying on a regular basis, regular price, and trying to up. I've got my grandkids in the ledger on birthday, Christmas. Well done, Andrew. Love that. Love that. Don't lack living. What are you up to in here today? Do you ever speak to that older gentleman that's involved in the banking system? Yes. No. I don't know who hasn't heard that story, so I'll go ahead and tell that one real quick. The individual that my boss introduced me to 3 years ago now, something like 3 years ago now. My boss's company, the CEO of the company, went to school with a man that I'm going to call Bob. So the CEO of the company that I work with, okay, and I sat at the same table at a celebration of life party. And he and I started talking. He goes, "Oh my God, you'd love my best friend is Bob. He's big time guy in Wall Street. You'd love this guy. You guys should hit it. You'd hit it right off." Well, he said, "Hey, would you mind if I gave Bob your phone number?" And I said, "No, of course not, man. I'm willing to talk to anybody, especially somebody who's been around banking and understands it." And, you know, I was kind of into the stock market back in the 80s as well. Well, Bob calls me and he and I started a rapport. We didn't talk often. We didn't talk hardly at all, actually. I think I had like probably 6 or 8 conversations total. They were great conversations, but just towards the end, the last couple of phone calls that he and I had was just after COVID. And I guess I shouldn't be using that word. I don't know. Anyway, it was a match made because he knew nothing about crypto. He didn't know anything about crypto. In fact, I said that in the video and many videos. But he was helping me understand what happened with the market. He's a market maker. In fact, he had one of the largest market making companies in all of Wall Street. He was number 3 in volume. He has since sold his company to a company called Citadel. Well, his 2 sons actually have, I've reached out to both of his sons and I don't have much communication with him. Mr. Bob, unfortunately, his real name isn't Bob, but Mr. Bob had a stroke, a massive stroke, and he doesn't chat with people with the likes of me, only personal friends and family. So unfortunately, I've lost his contact, but I have reached out to his sons who both work for Citadel. And unfortunately, I don't get to talk to those guys as much as I would love to. However, everything he told me, everything that happened, everything he told me happened. And when he and I would put our heads together, we would actually really come up with some pretty good foresight. One of the things that he and I talked about a long time ago was when I went on Zach's show a year or 2 ago and said, I really believe that the stablecoin market will be the future of bonds. In other words, they'll write paper with stable coins in the future, and it'll act just like a bond for a nation. And I said that 2 years. I think I was the first person on the internet that said it. Years ago, I was saying that. I don't know. I could have been the last guy, but who knows? But he said, "Oh, that'll never happen." And one of the last calls we had was, "Oh, wow. I think you're right about that." And that was one of the last calls we had. And now look at where the stablecoin market is now. What do? They sell stable coins and they buy bonds. Hello. And if you listen to some of the stuff I was talking about last week, 2 weeks ago now, I guess, was if you saw that post with XDC working with the Federal Reserve because they're going to sell US Treasuries on the XDC platform and other platforms, and they're going to sell them to major corporations, and they're going to sell them to the public. Hello. Think about what that means, guys. That means that the Federal Reserve is going to have you and I, Joe Public, be the new Treasury bond purchasers. That's a big deal. That's a really, really big deal. So the people of the world are going to want to own a stable coin because it's tied to the US dollar in value, and the coin or dollars in which they're at, Indonesia or wherever they live all around the world, is diminishing in value to that. And when they purchase those, that purchase goes into buying bonds, US Treasury bonds. When you think about that, that means everybody in the world's going to own US Treasury bonds. So how is that market, which is now just over $140 billion, going to stay at $140 billion? No, it's going to go to $140 trillion minimum over the next 5-10 years. It has to. So what the Fed decided was, we're not going to fight that. What we're going to do is go ahead, we're going to try and regulate it. You know, the whole deal, and they're coming after Tether and all that in the US. It's not going to slow Tether down around the world, but it might really slow it down in the US. It's probably already happening. Could even slow it down in Europe. Different story. My point is, all these nation states are in a mad scramble right now to keep their own citizens from buying stable coins linked to a US dollar value, which gets purchased into US Treasuries. Because what they really want their people to do is buy a stable coin linked to, if they're in Mexico, a peso. They're in a mad scramble right now. And that's what was so significant about that information that came out. Okay. That was a big deal. Okay. Big deal. And nobody's talking about it. Nobody thought it was a big deal. Oh, it doesn't really mean anything. Oh yeah, XDC, who cares? One day it'll go up. We don't even know. Holy smokes, guys. It's a fundamental change in the way money is looked upon globally from person to person. You understand that? We're not talking about companies. We're not talking about small companies. We're talking about the individual who gets his paycheck on a Friday afternoon, or by the way, with the way crypto's going, they're going to get their paycheck at the end of their shift. And when they get their paycheck or whatever income it is, they're going to take it out of the peso and they're going to put it in the US dollar, because it's going to be as easy as sending a text, and it's going to be boom, it's going to be supported because it's going to go directly to a stable coin, and that stable coin instantly is going to buy treasuries. It's a big deal, guys. That's the whole enchilada right there. When that starts occurring around the world, you don't need nation states to buy your treasuries. They don't care if China buys the damn thing. Their citizens will. I don't know about China. It's kind of a lockdown over there. I don't know how that's going to go. All right. What do we got in here, man? I am so far. You guys are blowing this chat up. Okay. Hit me with some questions. I think I'm at the bottom of this thing now. I'm not going anywhere. I was thinking, oh yeah, I'll make it a quick short show, and it's an hour and 15 minutes into this thing already, and it's just me babbling on. Yeah. Oh God, that's good. Yes. Chris, yes, I still believe there will be no financial crisis. No, there will not be. Again, I'm just a guy. I get a guess, right? That's my guess. I think it's going to get worse for the next 2 months. Not even. By the way, that's what I was going to remind you guys. I got a call from an incredible man, and he is affiliated with a big group on X, and I'm not going to say who the guy's name is, but they're really well connected in a couple of different organizations. They're calling for a big monetary downturn the middle of this month, say somewhere between the 15th and the 25th. They're calling for a crash. I shouldn't say that. A big drawdown, another big drawdown. This past drawdown could have been it. I don't know. The timing isn't perfect always, sometimes, but he's calling for that to happen around the 19th. Okay. He knows who he is. He's not in the chat, but sometimes he is. He is a member of a big organization of many people who, I will tell you, they know more about XRP than any organization out there. I will just say that at this moment. But that's not where he got the information from. They all put it all together and they puzzled together and they think that's going to be it. However, it's going to be quick, it's going to be sudden, and it's going to be sharp, and it's going to be people moving people like you and I off of our coins. And you know what happens then? It's going to hit the stock market. Yeah. That's what I'm getting. I don't believe that's going to happen, but hey, for what it's worth, hang on, because what they said after that was going to basically melt faces going up. And now that's something I have heard, that there's going to be a massive boom in the crypto market this fall. And then there's going to be another one, basically a slow upward grind the entire 2025. For what that's worth. That's what I keep hearing. And I'm not just hearing that from other YouTubers and stuff. I'm hearing that from people that are like, well, you got the last one right like that. So, hey, maybe it's going to happen. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Hydro. Yeah, man. I should really talk about what Wayne and I talked about yesterday. I was driving home and I chatted with Wayne, who is Crypto Truth, in the chat here. And it's something that I really feel strong. I have so many show notes that are great content, but I really want to talk about this. Northern Living, where you been? Dude. Yeah, how am I supposed to do a show without, Northern Living in here? Okay. I'm just going to do this briefly, real quick, but I really mean this, and it's really important to me, and it applies to every nation you live in and every association you're in. There's a thing happening in the nation in which I live now, and that is red team, blue team, left, right, whatever you want to call it. Okay. I don't care for it. I don't like it. And there are incredible patriotic people on both sides of the coin. There are incredible people that really care about all people, right? Our big problem is not our differences between whatever your beliefs are between a liberal and a conservative. The differences amount to somewhere between 10 to 25% difference. This means that 75 to 90% of what you believe, what you want, what you would like to see your country do for you, or your government do for you, or your community or your neighbor do for you is identical. We have the same wants, needs, desires: food, water, shelter, happiness, peace. That's what we all want. We all can agree on these things. Yet we never demand that from our own party, if you will, our own flag color, if you will. Why not? Why are you not demanding that from them? Why are you focusing on what the other team's things are that you don't like? Why aren't you focusing on the other team's qualities and the things that you can agree upon? And then why don't we focus on those things together so that we can finally point the finger where it really needs to be pointed, which is not at your neighbor, which is at the people who promote the propaganda on the face of this planet, telling you that your problem is that person's 10 to 15, 20% of what they believe in is your biggest problem. That's BS. That is not your biggest problem. Your biggest problem is the propaganda machine that's telling you to hate your next door neighbor for some dumb thing that doesn't even mean anything to the significance of your well-being 9 times out of 10. This is really, really important, guys. You got that? Because it's thousands of years old. The king gets the villagers to hate each other and constantly chuck spears at each other in the name of whatever. I care more about my country than they do, whatever it might be. Killing each other so they never focus the spears towards the people who are spreading the propaganda of hate about your neighbor and whatever dumb little thing it is about the two differences between the two of you. And I know you're going to put it in the chat. Oh, no, you don't even understand, Alan. There's these things that those people do that I can't live another day knowing that they do those things. Okay. But I want you to focus on the fact that what are the most important things in your life? Focus on those. Just solidify that. Can you? I mean, maybe you could start there. But oddly, no politicians run on that. Whether you like your politician, you don't like your politician, they don't run on those. It's a shame. It's a damn shame that we're stupid enough to follow that crap. That's the part that really annoys me the most. Because you're all smarter than that. When you hear somebody explain it to you properly, you sit there and go, wow, man, that's right. I have forgot. I've lost myself in the ignorance of the propaganda. Find a way, man. Just find a way to appreciate each other. That's all I got to say. Yeah. What do we got in here? Yes, the American dream. Love it, Russell. The thing about the American dream that I love the most is that there was plenty of land, plenty of freedom, and the right to say what you want to say when you want to say it. When they take those three things from you, it's not the person in the red or the blue taking it from you. Just remember that. It's the damn propaganda people. Just remember that. Money Paradise, love you, Cody. Tell Harley I said hello and I miss her and hope to see her soon. She's a sweetheart. Let's manifest her. Yes, Joanna, that's it. Yes, that's it. Yes. And I don't care what country you live in. I really don't. People are people first. You're not a nation. You don't even agree with what your nation thinks 9 times out of 10. I have a really important person knocking at the door here. Hang on one second. She's Goldie. Definitely not a person. All right, what do we got here? Yep. Propaganda. It'll ruin. It's been around forever, guys. Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. Yeah. Okay, this is really, this is something I mentioned earlier, but since we're all crypto people, I think we're all going to get this one. Yeah, that guy right there is the man. Let's see. I think you guys are going to get this one. It's something that came to me when I was in my bunk the other night. And it, you know, when we all have the neighbors and the brother-in-law who doesn't understand crypto. Okay, I get it. That's their deal. But again, I'm reflecting on some of the conversation I had over the holiday week, which has been, you know, amazing. I have such amazing guests that come to my boat of all walks of life and just incredible people. And I love them all so much. And I will do almost anything for all of them. And, but talking with them and debating with them about crypto is one of my favorite things. I don't bring it up much anymore because I kind of know their position. But the couple that have asked me about it, they ask me every year. They actually own XRP. Actually, Cole, who watches my shows every now and then, which is kind of cool. He was telling me about, oh yeah, I watch your shows, Alan. It's kind of one of the only people I know outside of a show that actually watch it, but which is kind of strange. But he and I had a conversation, but it led to a different thought process that I had. And what I wrote down was this, and you're all going to get this. All right. You're this new big time, great, whatever you are, right? You're a realtor. You're in tech. You're in pharmaceutical. You're in whatever it is, and that's your career, and you know everything about it, and you're all over it. And your investments are, you know, I bought Tesla and I got Apple, whatever. Okay. This guy kind of hit me, not Cole, but this other person hit me with this proposition. Well, why would I buy anything other than the FANG stocks? I know that's a guarantee. I know that I'm going to do well. Da, 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 da. It led me to this thought, and you guys are going to probably like this. I said, here's the thing. If you don't know, this is what I told him the next day. If you don't know, I got the idea in my bunk. If you don't know what a DAO is, do you know what a DAO is? Said no. I said, do you know what a DEX is? No. Do you know what an AMM is? No. Do you know what DeFi is? I've heard of it. Okay. Do you know what Web3 is? Yeah, I kind of know what Web3 is. I said, okay, well, what's Web3? And he looked at me like, well, I can't explain it to you. Think about that, guys. Here's a man, very sophisticated, follows his stocks up and down, knows the stock market pretty well, manages his own account, trades his own stocks. He's in all the FANG stocks. He understands the last 20 years of technology. The last 20 years of technology. Are those FANG stocks the next 20 years of technology? Are they the next home runs of finance? That's impossible, right? You can't dominate for 40 years. I guess Coca-Cola does, but you get the point. What is the future? Think about that. Think about that, guys. What is the future? He doesn't know what those 5 things are. And I said to him, look, I'm just telling you, other than AI, you better know what those 5 terms mean. And he actually wrote them down, which I made him almost. Is a good friend. I've known him for 10 years. Think about how many family members could even tell you what any one of those 5 things are. They can't. They can't even tell you what they are, what they do, what they mean. They can't even tell you a concept of what they are. Yet you and I know that's the future of Wall Street. It's the future of making money, and it's the future of generational wealth and how it gets moved and how it gets transferred around. And how you can use any one of those to create generational wealth without you even getting out of bed. Money is going to make money with DAOs, DEXs, AMMs, DeFi, decentralized Web3. It's amazing. And you and I understand it. You and I invested in it. You and I have the major players. You and I own the picks and shovels of where this whole thing is going, right? If you get the ISO coins, some of you are into that. Some of you are into Bitcoin. Some got Ethereum. Some got Cardano. I love what Cardano's doing right now, guys. Boy, if you're not listening to what Cardano is doing, and that damn thing, it was 30 cents. You don't own some Cardano, man. I'm not trying to give financial advice here. I'm just trying to say you might want to look into that. It's on sale. It's totally on sale right now. Anyway, that was just a thought that I had laying in my bunk, and it's the new wave of generational wealth and earning wealth, and it's just happening now. And when I get to go to these shows, and when I get to talk to people like Quincy and these people, they just look at me and they just tell me, that's it, Alan. That's what's happening. Alan, all this technology in the background is simply trading liquidity. That's all we're doing, Alan. We're finally getting to that point now where it's not if one day this company or this institution needs liquidity. It's like, that's what I do, Alan. That's what XTC does. It just, boom. It just shoots that liquidity where it needs it. What do you need? You need grease for that wheel. Boom, boom, boom. When you get that whole picture, when you understand that the future of moving money around is not what I talked about in the beginning of this video, with 10-day movement. When you get it's like that, somebody needs money now. Somebody needs the bridge fell in the water. We need $1 billion tomorrow. Who's going to provide that? We are. It's happening now, people. It's happening now. Yeah. It's incredible. And there are so many great opportunities for you to be part of the movement of assets. And if you think the future of movement and assets is pulling out a checkbook and writing a check and handing it to somebody, well, that sounds about as stupid as, oh, that's it. That's how you make a kid laugh today. You explain to people 5 or 10 years from now that there's 2 guys in a truck with tiny little holes, and they got guns sticking out of them, and they got sacks of money, and they drive from bank to bank to bank, and they get all these 20s and they stack them up in this machine that you put your little code in, and that shoots out all these pieces of paper. Tell me that doesn't sound like the Wild West. When you and I, with Cash App or any of these crypto coins in the future, are just going to be able to send a text to another person and send them any denomination you want to send them. And you look over at the guy driving around in an armored car with a gun hanging out the side of it, and just look how stupid that sounds. Do you know how ridiculous you people look? I'm an old guy and you look like dinosaurs. What are you doing over there? I mean, talking about tempting somebody to steal your assets. It's an unbelievable time we live in, man. I love it. And you know what? I just heard somebody say this. God, was it Elon? I was listening to some Elon the other day, and I think he said, oh, if there is a recession or a major crash or a depression, he goes, I'm going to be the guy that I'm going to be glad I lived through it. I want that experience in life. Now, I know he's got enough money to pull his way through it. He probably won't be eating ramen if we know what we're talking about here. But think about that. Think about that. You want to be in these times. The time of change could get worse before it gets better. That happens all the time. Yeah. Shrimp, we're way early. Brother, man, we are beyond early. Unfortunately, I didn't think so in 2017, but in 2024, I know we're early. Clearly, we're 7 or 8 years closer. But hey, I really appreciate everybody in the chat giving me all these questions. I have another couple coming over for dinner tonight. Sunday's kind of the night I love to do that kind of stuff. I don't know what you guys are all doing. I really like when you guys tell me that you're doing stuff with family and friends and taking the dog for a walk or whatever. I love all that stuff. The more you can do all that stuff with people and remind yourself of why we're here and what we're supposed to be doing while on walking around this beautiful planet. It's an incredible time to be alive and to be part of this amazing opportunity before us. Let's see what I did not cover. Maybe just spend 5 more minutes rambling on as I do. Hey, let me know too if I know we miss Brent, but sometimes I feel like I shouldn't do a show by myself because it would maybe be too much of one guy. But maybe I could do one of these a night a week or something like that, just being me. So let me know in the chat here if this show worked out for everybody, if you guys got something from it, or whether it was worthwhile listening to some old guy ramble on about his thoughts about where the world's going economically and crypto wise. Hey, Melissa, thanks, girl. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Cool. What is that? Shaka Bartles. I hope I pronounced that right. Yeah, brother. Man, thank you. Cool. No, I think both of us is really good. I really do. I believe we bring, I would never quit doing a show with my son. He's always my favorite. Brent has a heart the size of, this planet, and he wears it on his sleeve, which is just an incredible way to go through life. So anybody like that, you've got to really appreciate working with, right? Thanks, Nina Blossom. Yeah, I try to make sense out of a crazy world. Sometimes I figure it out, and then sometimes that is way off track. Wow, I didn't see that coming at all. So you just never know what you're going to get, right? Yeah, I never get tired of seeing the future being better than today, though. And that's something I really love. I love bringing the opportunities of thought process of maybe somebody else missed or somebody else could have seen, but didn't get it. Yeah. Box of chocolates, right? Yeah. Forrest. Planting that one little seed that when you say something, it happens. And everybody, I use this analogy a lot, but when two identical twins walk down the road, they have two totally different life experiences, right? So when I say something, it might trigger something completely different. And in the beginning of YouTube, I used to read the chat. And I go, what were you listening to? That's not at all what I was talking about. But the thing of it is, it's really the perception of every individual is so different and so perfect in its difference. That's the beauty of this whole thing, guys. Don't sit there and listen. Oh, well, Alan told me this. No, not Alan told you this. Alan shared his point or version of reality to Alan, to you. and you took that word or that sentence or that moment out of it, and you related it to how it worked for you. That's the beauty of all this. That's the beauty of communication. This is the best part about YouTube, okay, or any form of social media, is the media clearly has an agenda of what they want you to know. You can only tell the people this. How do I know that? Because all the channels say the same thing every day. YouTube is quite the opposite. Well, you can find many channels that say the same thing over and over. The ones that regurgitate the news are, very similar in different ways, still with a different twist and a different slant. And they're not afraid to put out on the airwaves a different view. Where the system is losing so many subscribers, nobody's watching that stuff anymore. Thank God. Thank God we're evolving from the evening news. Yeah, it's so important that we all share our lives together. By the way, this platform, I don't know if it's going to be YouTube, is going to go on forever now, because the individual, every individual has a like and a learning desire and style. I love to listen to other people and see people express themselves. That's how I learn best, right? That's maybe why I like doing YouTube channels, because I learn from teaching by being animated and telling people and expressing it in my way. So people relate to things like me who learn likewise, right? It's such a fascinating case study, this whole thing. I just love it. So good. So good, this world we live in today, guys. What do we got here? Iden Ray, I guess. Price prediction for what? Oh, H bar. Oh man, you guys, come on! You're gonna hit me with the price predictions. Higher than it is today. That's a cop out. I will tell you this. I don't know how old you are. Your photo doesn't look very old. I would have to say, if you own those 4 coins, I'm going to say within 12 months, your portfolio across the board of those 4 coins is anywhere between a 10 to 30x. How's that? 10 to 30x, if I had to guess. Somewhere in that ballpark. Could it be 50x? Of course. Any one of those coins could do the same thing, right? They could go up 50x, right? But let's remember, at 50 cents, 30x is $15. So for XRP, that's totally realistic. I don't know if you guys are looking at the XRP chart, but that thing is winding up for a snap. Oh, that's the thing I didn't talk about. A lot of things I didn't talk about. There's a thing called Elliott waves. Look it up. We're in the 5th cycle. We're in the 5th move in an Elliott wave. If you look at XRP, throw an Elliott wave chart up on the XRP chart of the last year and look at it and tell me where that coin's going. Yeah, it's not going to 20 cents. That's not where it's going. Without a massive something really bad happen in the world thing happening. Chris, love you too, brother. I hope it's a brother. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, great stream. Cool. Good. Finally caught you live. Thanks for streaming. Oh man, Arian, I love it, man. I love this stuff right here. I wasn't sure how well I was going to do alone, but I do miss the best B-man. It gives me time to get a drink. Yeah. Okay. Oak is saying over 10 to 30x in the next 18 months. That's his guess. That's probably, yeah. Right. R. Morgan, busy farmer, loves financial. Yeah, yep. I do. NVIDIA, yeah, you are welcome. Thank you. I'm going to try and roll out of here, guys. There's my girl right there. There's Joanna, her post. And I'm going to try and roll out of here, guys. Yes, the XRP beach ball is being held under the water. We are also, while you guys are still in here, looks like there's quite a few of you still in here. I'm going to do a live stream just like this. Okay, Alan, Crawfish, be there Tuesday night. I'm going to call it. We'll announce it somewhere between 5 and 6 West Coast time. Okay, so between 8 and 9 o'clock, it will be myself and Simon Says Crypto, my brother Simon, and I are going to do a show. And I don't want to just call it infinite banking. What I want to call that show is how to set you, your family, and the rest of you up to become your own bank, number one. How we are going to use it to invest in crypto. How we're going to use it to help us save money, earn money, and generate monthly income so that you don't have to work like a dog the rest of your life. This is Simon and I's plan going forward. And we plan to do it with Nelson Nash's book, Infinite Banking. We plan, that's going to be the basis. That's going to be the foundation. But we're working with people who write trusts. We're hoping to find somebody who really is good at writing wills. And we want to help you people figure this thing out. We're going to do it through live streams together. And we're going to do it in a format just like this. And we're going to learn together. He and I know quite a bit about it. We don't know everything about it, but we're all going through it together as students. And like I said earlier in the video, we are learners through listening or watching or hearing another individual. Otherwise, my channel probably would not resonate with you. And he is amazing. I love Simon, his passion, his heart, and the way he cares for people at his own financial expense is unmatched. I don't know anybody other than my son who does that. Well, my wife and I, but not to the degree that, anybody else in the internet I know. I just don't. And we plan to teach people, help people understand, and then find you somebody honest who can help you, right? We don't have all the answers. We're the guys helping you get motivated, tell you what we're doing with it, the way it's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us, and how we can grow together financially. Because you are going to need to take care of this influx, potential massive amount of money that could be coming your way. And what are you going to do with it? You're just going to spend it on, whatever. That's not a good plan. That's not it. You need to have a decent plan going in, and we're going to help you with that. And we're going to be around at least one night a week. It could turn into more, depends on how many people show up. Again, around between 5 and 6, we'll put the announcement out. Joanna will put the announcement out the exact time on Tuesday night. We're going to go live just like this. Only it'll be more entertaining because we'll have my brother Simon on the show as well. All right, guys, enough with the infomercial at the end here. I love you all. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And if it's your Monday morning already in Oz, sorry, guys, enjoy your day and your week. And I will be back with you all very soon. Thank you so much for showing up. And it's been a good fun. My first time, go easy on me. My first time in trying to read and keep up with the stream at the same time. So it was a lot of fun, and testing my brain was good for me. Really good. Loved it. All right, guys. Love you guys. I will see you on Tuesday night, if not sooner. Bye.